time when you first started going to college, and you did track field. Um, you became relatively pretty great at it, right? I want to ask about, because one of the things I want people to understand about how to overcome obstacles, and even when you push 100% and do your best, you might not always win in the way that you thought you should have won, but it can still catapult you to where you need to be. You tried out for the Olympic team.
Yes.
You came within what did it say, like 200th of a millisecond of making a team.
Yes.
How did you feel at that moment when you felt like you put in the hard work, you did everything you could, and you did, I don't want to say fail because you didn't really fail, you did not make the cut.
Fell short.
Fell short.
Right, with that 2/10 of a second. Well, my thing is, ironically, everyone around me, they were more devastated than I was because they see all the hard work that I put in. They knew it was just that lean. Why didn't I just jump like she did? She just jumped like why? They were devastated. For me, I was ecstatic because of all that I went through that season alone. You know, college went through a lot, but that season just was going through so much, being a single parent, going to certain meets, not eating, because, the school pays for stuff. It gave us per diem, but I was stretching that money out for other things that I need too, right? I didn't live on campus. I had an apartment, getting help from the government, so I had to make every piece of money that I had come in work. And so there was just so much that I was going through. So for me to beat out so many people just in the US alone, and then even I was ranked top 15th in the world after that race, I was more ecstatic about what I showed myself I could do. I think that changed my trajectory for me, even though I fell short of this team.
I want people to understand is that when you said it was like a 12.25?
12.81.
12.81, how fast that is. That's faster than 90% of men on the planet. So, and not just talking about in a hurry, we're just talking about speed wise.
Running, yes.
So that's an amazing thing. I want you to speak to how a lot of people will let the fear of disappointing others stop them from doing what they need to do, and why that shouldn't be a major factor in the choices that you make for your success in life.
Well, first of all, in life, in everything we do, we have to do it with courage. So if any area is causing fear, move forward with courage. But the reason why people shouldn't do that is because we can't live our life for other people. The one thing I learned in my situation is that, yes, it was a blessing to bounce back. I'm so happy I had that resiliency and people around me. But if I didn't, people will move on with their own life and keep going, and you're still stuck there, right? They'll figure it out. So when you live in your life for someone else, fear of disappointing, whatever happens or doesn't happen, they're going to be good. Will you?
Yes.
And so that was my thing. I'm not living for anyone else. Now, you may get some residual from it, some effect, but I have to live for me. Because if it doesn't work out, it would just be me by myself in a room trying to figure it out. So.
And you talked about courage. I think a lot of people mistake the definition of courage as being fearless. That's not true. Courage, first of all, without fear, courage does not exist.
Exactly.
Without the presence of fear, you cannot have courage. Courage is your ability to be able to operate despite the fear. And you've done that well. So, first person, graduate from high school in your immediate family. Definitely first person to go to college in your immediate family. At what point, because you was an athlete, a student athlete, and an academic student, at what point did you say, you know what, I want to become an attorney? And when did you decide what type of attorney that would be?
Absolutely. Good question. Good question. Thanks for asking. The funny thing is, when I initially decided to go to law school, it had nothing to do with even being an attorney, meaning you take the bar. You got to take the bar to be a practicing attorney. It had nothing to do with practicing in the field of sports and entertainment. It was because I was coaching at the Fort Valley State University, HBCU, head coach over 4 programs, men and women track and field and cross country. Seen a lot, been through a lot, made a lot of changes at the university, but I thought to myself, you know what, I think I'm gonna segue into HR. I was already certified, a certified professional human resources. It's an actual license you get. Studied for that, passed that exam, worked in HR. I said, I think I want a full-blown go into HR, but I wanna go to law school, get my Juris Doctorate, master the local, state, federal laws. I think that will really help catapult me within the HR realm. Went to law school, that's what I went for. That's my mindset was HR and just get my Juris Doctorate. First semester, hell and hot water. I was hazed mentally, just was brought through a lot. That's what happens. Those professors will bring you through. The fittest survive. And for me, that was like what, my second, third career. I wasn't a young whippersnapper. I wasn't coming fresh out of undergrad into college. I already was living a full life, parent.
So that's what I wanted to ask you too, because when you said that you taught, I think you taught for about 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a distance between when you initially graduated from college
Yes.
to when you got into law school. How old were you when you started law school?
I believe 35. I'm 46 now. That was 2012.
Mm-hmm. I like them. I want to make a point on that. For a lot of people out there that's thinking that they are at these very early stages in their life, and because they might not have figured out what their purpose is or accomplished certain things, they think like their life is over and they have to live an existence of settling for less than what they're capable of. And you didn't even start your doctorate till you was 35.
Right.
I mean, you started to go for your law degree till you was 35.
Right. Which is a doctor's. This is Juris Doctor's. And my thing we're constantly evolving. We don't know. Our evolution doesn't have age on it, right? We're going to evolve, and whatever drops in us during those times, spaces and places, that's what it is. And at that time, that dropped in me. I came out on the other end differently than what I intended walking in, but I responded to that, and that never crossed my mind that, oh man, I'm this old, no, I just knew, I felt I wanted to do that to evolve, and I knew I was gonna go ahead and do it. And so that first semester though, not gonna paint this pretty picture that, oh, I decided to do it and I walked it. No, when I took that LSAT, which was another beast, studied course and all that good stuff, finally got accepted into law school. That first semester, I did start to question, why did I respond to that? Why am I here? This is crazy, especially being an adult and you dealing with some of the hazing, right? You're looking at adult like, I didn't gotta go through this. Do I got, so it was a lot, right? And just relearning. You have to relearn how to write. You have to relearn how to read. It was just a lot. And it's competitive. And I'm like, do I need this? And so there was a point where I didn't even go to school for 2 weeks. And I was like, do I even go back? I think I'm just gonna quit. It's just not for me. But then I thought to myself, laying in the bed one day, just go. Just each day, just take each day. Make it to the end of the semester. If you don't go back next semester, you just don't. And when I went back, the light bulb, the switch came on. I knew why I was there. I started getting phone calls. People started finding out I was in law school, that was in sports, former training partners, that's entertainment. And they all had, I need you to do this for me. I need you to be my attorney when you come out. All these things were lining up, and I said, I'm not here for HR. I'm here to go back home. And go back home on the other side of the table to help people do what I overcame.
So, and that's when we were talking about behind the scenes earlier, is that a lot of times people don't understand in between these different levels of energy, your dream, your passion, what you love, your purpose, or even your calling.
Yeah.
People, I think they put purpose and calling the same thing. Purpose is just the reason on why you decide to do something. Exactly. It's that simple. But your calling will pull you through the things that you had to went through in order to be the person that you were born to become.
That makes sense.
So you thought you was going to this college because that was your dream. Your purpose ended up making you have to go back to this calling. You was passionate about wherever that passion came from for running because it mixed with your talent. Your calling eventually brought all these things back together to put you in a position to serve the people that you can provide an amazing amount of value too, which could be reciprocated back to you in return. So just listening to your story like that, I just was able to put that together. One of the things that I know that a lot of lessons I learned from God, but he taught me is like, even for me having the life that I have now, when I couldn't envision it, when the vision was given to me, he was like, I was like, God, I can't see that far. He was like, you don't have to see that far. I just need you to go as far as you can see.
Yes.
And then repeat the process. I don't care if as far as you can see is one step, if it's one thought,
Yes.
if it's 50 steps or 50 thoughts. You go that far, repeat the process. And another wise thing that has is stop thinking you got to you got to cut down the forest, but don't look at the forest. Start with one tree.
You have to start one tree.
And like what you said, you just did one semester,
Just
one day.
One day to make it to the end of the semester, because I knew in my mind I'm gonna do this one day to get to the semester, but I had to bring it even back in when I decided I'm gonna make it to the end of the semester. I had to let that thought go and hold on to the thought that I'm gonna get up each day and just continue to go to school. I'm gonna submit this assignment. I'm just gonna try this assignment, this class. All right, now it's time for this exam. I'm just gonna focus on this exam. I had to do one thing, and before I knew it, it was the end of the semester. And before I knew, the forest cut down, before I knew it, I started getting all these different things to start painting the entire picture. At first, I just had the canvas, right? And then all of a sudden, all this splatter, and I'm like, oh, I'm staring at it. It's making sense. The purpose. And then everything that I was feeling in law school started to feel differently because I started to see it differently. I knew I had to finish what I started.
And once we will have that alignment with our dream, our purpose, our passion, and our calling, when we align those things, and we can really tap into that unified energy force, is when the obstacles don't even matter. You know, go climb the Himalayan mountains. Done.
Done.
You know, walk
What do I
through
need to do
broken glass.
That's
done.
right. What do I need to do to prepare? What I need to do? It's like a hurdler. I'm a hurdler in life or a hurdler on track. It's the same thing. I have obstacles in front of me in a race. You have the 100-meter runners that run without the hurdles, and I have to run just as fast, going through, charging the hurdles. So I had to, when I was a hurdler starting out, at first I looked at them as obstacles. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna hit. What if this? What if that? Then I looked at it as these are things that's gonna help me charge faster. So it was how we look at the obstacles in life that we prepare for them. We know they're there, and how are they gonna make me better?
And also how to remove. So I look at it, there's the finish line. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Now, my next step is I have to remove the obstacles in the way. I have to remove the first hurdle, the second hurdle, third turn, and once I remove all the obstacles, I have a clear path to getting to where I want to be. So many people stay focused on the obstacle.
No.
And they make it bigger than what it is.
Yeah. As hurdlers, we can't even do that. If you focus on the hurdle that's right in front of you, that's how you hit the hurdle.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize. When you train, the actual hurdle that you're about to attack should be an afterthought. You should already be looking on to the